welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be discussing some serious topics regarding what the title of the video is. But before I get into that, I am joined by a guest, Rin. Yay! We are both uploading this video on our channels, so make sure to give her some love too. This video will also be going up on Creative's channel, so big thanks to her for helping us. Like before, the information in this video is facts and I have left all bias out to the best of my abilities. I start to see, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Honey, I'm a perfect 10.
Before we get into this, if you are triggered by subjects like scamming, art thief, emotional and mental abuse, predatorial behavior, narcissistic behavior, self-harm, dysphoria, and etc., please stop watching this video. We will summarize everything in the description along with linking people featured in this video.
And I have been friends for a very long time now. I even consider her a sister sometimes. Both Rin and I have also dated Mackenzie, or Purple Guy Playz, as you guys know, at some point in time. And this is where we are going to start. I'm going to have Rin talk about her experience while dating Purple and just her experience with Purple in general.
I met Purple through Jenna. We slowly started talking and then Purple became to have a crush on me. I then started to like her a little bit as well, but I was in a relationship. She tried to break up me and the partner I had at the time, which was successful eventually. I felt as if I was forced into this polyamorous relationship. I was also very uncomfortable and suspicious of the fact that the day after I told her I was poly, she then came out and said she was poly too, without knowing what I was before me saying anything. She would bring up self-harm and sexual abuse a lot, even though Alyssa was supposedly there in person. I was one who had to calm her down. Not to mention that those type of topics can trigger my ADHD, which she knows about, and knows that these subjects are a trigger.
Now, as you all know, me and Creative both uploaded an exposing video on Purple that I filmed. Also, if you have not seen that video, please check it out. It will be linked in the description. But since then, a lot of people, and I mean a lot of people, have messaged me privately coming forward with their stories about Purple, which I just can't ignore anymore. I wanted you guys to be able to share your stories, so I talked to a few of the people with similar experiences to mine and gave them an opportunity in this video. So please welcome Lockedrose, formerly known as Honeybee AJ.
Thanks. Hi, hello.
Okay, so the first question. How did you meet Purple?
I met Purple in most of her live streams and basically I had a crush on her. When I told her this, she was like, I am already dating Alyssa, but you can join too. In my opinion, for her dating me is that she is a flirt. She wasn't dating me, she was basically flirting with me.
I'm so sorry that she led you into that. What did Purple do to you?
Purple first, as I said, flirted with me for 2 to 3 weeks and then she broke up with me saying that I am a 10-year-old kid. Which was such a lame excuse because I am 16 as y'all know, and after some months, like back in March, she told me to dox Jenna, and when I stopped talking to her she started spamming my DMs and that was so much so I got her blocked. Then back in the end of March when me and my friend had a fight, so Purple took her side and she made us even salty. She told me that she had gotten hacked and lost her items, and after some days she told me she had gained 120 plus worth, so I don't really know if she was telling the truth. Then when I said I am gonna expose you, she said I am experienced and bunch with a couple of friends who can dox and hack you. After that, on one of my stream, a person called I selling 1 inch came to my stream and asked for my Discord. They messaged me on Discord my read email, IP address, and my real name. Then added me to a group DM where a couple more people such as Afraid and Blazin were there, and they knew every detail about me, and they also said that they were from the Astro Squad. I didn't say this out before, but I did say about the hack threats I was getting, and that was Astro Squad. I am so much in doubt. I don't know if it was Purple or not, but I think it was, as she told me before. I think this is my opinion that Purple is somewhere associated with the Astro Squad. After that she told me the rape that had happened to her and all her pregnancy info and stuff.
So it seems like she has a history of doxings. Also, I would like to note that English is not Honey's first language, which is why at the time, Jenna and myself, along with many others, thought you were younger. So sorry about that. Next question is, did anything seem odd or off when she talked to you?
Of course, everything was odd, like everything in between us was. I didn't like her behavior. At all the times we talked, Jenna was the main topic. She used to say bad things about Jenna, which seemed really odd. Like, what could I do for her?
Were there any red flags?
A lot. She had always given me the signs that she was gonna do something to me if I didn't listen to her, but that was when she used me. She asked me to dox Jenna, and TBH, doxing isn't my cup of tea, so I never listened.
Good you didn't actually listen. She has asked a lot of people to dox Jenna, surprisingly. Also, side note, Honey couldn't find any screenshots of her asking to dox Jenna, but here's some screenshots of Purple asking others to dox Jenna. To you, and now that you've come forward, how do you feel about this situation?
Honestly, why do people even do this all? This really causes mental pain to the person listening to it. If you've heard of the mind-body connection, you might already know that emotional and physical symptoms can play off each other. In basic terms, this connection means you might experience emotional symptoms, including anxious or fearful thoughts when your physical needs go unmet. Here's one example. You wake up feeling awful. Your partner didn't reply to your texts the night before, and the upstairs neighbors played music late into the night. You couldn't sleep, so you spent most of the night worrying. So basically, in my opinion, you should never get too close to someone.
Thank you for sharing, Honey. It was very brave of you. Her YouTube
Thanks
channel
for
will be
having me.
linked in the description along with a video she made of the topic of purple. I encourage you to go check it out.
As you saw and heard in Honey's interview, Purple indeed on several accounts has tried to get me doxxed. I only know of 3 instances for sure, one being her asking Matthew, or quote Matthew, to dox me, and another time asking someone we will call Sarah to dox me, and Sarah thankfully refused as we are on good terms. And then the third time, as mentioned, she asked Honey. Sadly, Honey could not get the screenshot because it was in a now deleted group chat. But since we have evidence of the other 2 accounts of Purple asking to have me doxed, I think it's believable for Purple to have asked Honey to dox me.
She has done a lot of things to try and get back at Jenna and myself. Doxing is one of the many examples. Another is faking people in relationships. Now we're going to be as polite as possible and tread lightly on this subject for obvious reasons. But we are also going to be talking about nitty-gritty shit. So if this kind of thing makes you uncomfortable, please stop watching now. First, let's start off with Alyssa. There's a lot to uncover with her, and I mean a lot. First, let's talk about how we met Alyssa. Me and Jenna both met Alyssa the day after Jenna and Purple broke up. So literally the next day, Alyssa and Purple were dating. It takes an average person of 1 to 18 months to move on, not less than 24 hours. Not only that, but she had mentioned they've known each other for a year. That Alyssa's account was created 8 months ago. Mackenzie's excuse was Snapchat. Yet, they later contradicted themselves, saying Mackenzie doesn't even know how to work Snapchat in the slightest.
Moving on to Matthew, Yinny mentions to Alyssa and Purple while she was in their poly relationship that she thinks she might be straight. This is when Matthew magically shows up. Yinny breaks up with them after a while. And now it's Matthew and Yinny dating. Also, I want to touch on the fact that Mackenzie and, quote, Alyssa are engaged at 16, and the reason being Purple was depressed. Like, literally, that's the only reason. Joined with Wolfie. Hello.
Hello.
I feel like a talk show host. Welcome.
I'm glad to be here.
Thank you. We're happy to have you. I'm sorry this happened to you. But we're gonna be asking Wolfie a few questions, and if you guys want to check her out, she's gonna be linked down below. We're probably gonna link her Twitch and her TikTok, so highly recommend checking those both out. So with all that being said, let's get on with the questions. So Wolfie, what did this person do to you?
They posed as me. To dumb it down, they took my identity, stole it, and pretended to be me.
Yeah, which I'm pretty sure is illegal, considering you are, like, I'm guessing around 16 or 17.
I am 15, and identity theft is very illegal.
Yeah. Okay, so the next question is, do you even know, Alyssa, do you even know who this person is? Like, have you ever talked to them? Have you ever met them? Are you them?
No, my name is not Alyssa. I have not done a name reveal, so unfortunately I cannot give that.
That's fine.
I do not know who Alyssa is. I've never met them. I've never even spoken to them.
Yee. Okay, would you feel comfortable, like, sending us, I know you're a faceless streamer, so obviously you don't need to show your, like, full face, but would you feel comfortable enough sharing with the video and the human beings or aliens watching this video, your masked face?
Yeah,
So,
I'll be willing to, because in my TikToks I do wear a mask. So
which you guys
I'm
should check out. Free plugs. So overall, how do you feel about the situation? How do you feel about, like, how it was handled, and how do you feel about, like, I don't know if you've seen the videos or know anything else that she's done.
I feel disgusted. That's how I feel right now. I feel literally disgusted, and I'm so sorry that you have to go through that. And I do not condone any type of this behavior. Like,
Yeah.
and now that they're in my identity and saying that they're the one doing this, but as me, one is kind of violating.
Yeah.
And it makes me uncomfortable. And two, that can backfire to me and be like, oh, they did this, let's cancel her.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, it's bad for you guys because of what they've done.
Thank you for that, and thank you for coming on and talking to us about this.
You're welcome.
We're gonna give you a second to plug whatever. Go ahead, get your clout. We know you want it.
Follow my Twitch, twitch.tv/WolfieXAV. I highly recommend following that one. I'm trying to get to 200 followers so I can do the Chica dance. I'm just kidding. That's literally... that's what it is. We're doing the Chica dance to get to 200 followers.
I will link that in the description for you. Thank you. And
you're welcome.
Let's get on with I don't know, I'm just gonna do.
So, quote unquote, Alyssa, aka Mackenzie, stole someone's identity for a face reveal as well, and blamed her self-confidence when simply she could have not stolen somebody's identity to do a face reveal and just not do one.
I think it just proves the fact that even more that Alyssa isn't even real. Like, I don't know what to do with them. Next, we are going to be talking about a subject that is very hard for me and Yinny to talk about, or Rin to talk about. So this next point is going to be unscripted. So please, please, please click off of the video now if subjects of dissociative identity disorder triggers you. That's your warning. So me and Yinny or Rin both have DID. And we also both dated Mackenzie or Purple Guy Playz. And Alyssa, or as we've discussed, most likely as the evidence points to, them being the same person, also known as Mackenzie, Alyssa, quote Alyssa, has DID. And we don't have screenshots of this. This is all just speculation of this little part. But if Alyssa is not real and is Mackenzie, like the evidence provided shows, then Alyssa's dissociative identity disorder is also not real either. And there are some things that me and Rin have noticed that just make us uncomfortable. So DID is a very hard subject for us both to talk about, as we both struggle with it daily. So please keep that in mind while we're talking about this. Alyssa kind of stole a few of our alters. Mine being the one she calls Cole, my alter being Cameron, that acts exactly like that alter, which I told Mackenzie about when we were dating. And her alter, quote, Leah, which acts exactly like Ava, which I told her about when we were dating. I don't have screenshots of this because I switched on call. And she also, name for name, personality for personality, took Yinny's alter Nova, who she only told Matthew about. So how is it that she, when she got into a fight with Mackenzie, just all of a sudden started switching to these alters? Yet she didn't show any sign. Yeah.
I would also like to mention the fact that nobody knew about this, and all of a sudden, she apparently has it.
Yeah, like,
which that does not make sense.
I've been diagnosed for 3 years. You have to get diagnosed to say you have it. Like, you can't just one day magically be like, oh yeah, I have DID. No, you have to get diagnosed. And it's a very touchy subject, but I feel like we need to talk about it, as this shouldn't be happening, basically.
It's not a trend to be going around and using.
Yeah.
Just to get, oh, I'm some new person. It's not me who's doing this. It's not me. Different person.
Yeah,
you can't use it as a trend.
No, it is a serious mental disorder that is a living hell to live with. And it makes me uncomfortable even like thinking about this. And so I had my friend make a group chat with Alyssa, and I wrote a long paragraph about it. I show it on screen right now, so pause and read it or whatever. And she apparently, according to Mackenzie, left the group chat, didn't even read anything. So it's just, I don't even know where to begin with this. It is messed up on so many levels. Only Matthew knew about Nova, according to Yinny. And
I'd like to mention I've never mentioned her name unless somebody did in a voice call.
Yeah.
And I don't know. But it's kind of a weird suspicion that she apparently has the same name, same personality. The only difference, I believe, is the age.
Yeah. So, yeah, we're going to move on to a different subject. As I said, we don't really have too much evidence for this point. But as we stated, and as the evidence showed for the other point, that Alyssa and Matthew are the same person as Mackenzie, which would make a lot of sense, then Alyssa having DID would not be possible because she's not a real person. So,
Unless
yeah.
Mackenzie is actually the one with it, which I highly, highly doubt.
Mackenzie doesn't show any signs or symptoms, at least from me and Yinny knowing her. But we're not professionals, so yeah.
This next subject is something we are not certain of, which is Purple's age. Now, we have multiple sources telling us she stated a different age each time. This first person is someone I'm going to call Robert. Now, Robert has come to us and stated, Purple has stated she's 18. We do not have a screenshot of this because this is from a server that was now deleted.
But there's like no
In
reason
the relationship
Robert's
that she
lie.
had, no, there is not. He has also stated that during the time of talking to Purple, she does seem the age of 18 or 19.
And Robert mentioned she would send some art that is not exactly
Is not safe for
appropriate
work.
for minors. And how old is Robert?
Best way to describe it. Robert, I believe, is same age as me, so 17 or 18. They are old enough that they are uncomfortable with that type of pictures.
Yeah. When me and Purple were dating, she told me she was 15 at the time. And then in the group chat, she said she was 16 and just mixed signals everywhere. And there's also something also kind of similar. She goes to a college or whatever. She is in the UK.
A university or a college, but she has stated her classes go up to like 8 p.m.
When
But talking to someone who is from there, they do not. They go to like 3 to 4.
which is even more confusing because she says she's busy in class, when here it'd be like time for class, but there it would be late in the evening. So she's lying about her age and possibly where she's from, and it's just confusing and it just gives off so many red flags. So, yeah.
I would like to leave a warning here. This next subject mentions mental illnesses, which can be triggering or uncomfortable for most viewers.
Purple has mentioned having ADHD, which is something me and Yinny both as well have.
Anytime Purple, aka Mackenzie, gets into a situation, such as being confronted or called out for items she might have done, which we may or may not have already mentioned in the video, she uses ADHD as a scapegoat.
As shown, she says she's confused or can't understand what's going on as her ADHD is acting up. Now, ADHD is an attention disorder, meaning you will lose your focus or blank out, kind of like daydreaming, but on a more regular basis. So, we've done some research and this is what we found. Distortion or distorted perceptions do more than create symptoms of dyslexia. The dyslexic or ADHD child uses distortion for entertainment. He may be disoriented for hours on end, creating the imaginary world he plays in. Psychosis is not typical of ADHD, but around 10% of people with this condition experience psychotic symptoms. One theory is that the stimulant drugs that doctors prescribe to treat ADHD may trigger these psychotic symptoms. Other times, it can be serious. The bottom line is forgetfulness can affect careers and relationships. It can easily be confused with carelessness or lack of intelligence by others if they are not familiar with an ADHD diagnosis and symptoms associated with the condition.
Her ADHD only acts up when she's known the wrong. I don't believe that's likely. She seems to only mention she knows she's doing something wrong. Anytime else, she seems perfectly fine.
I would also like to mention ADHD is the most treatable mental disorder. With proper medication, I myself am more focused when taking my medication. My brain doesn't seem to have the zoomies when I take my medications. And even when I'm off my ADHD medications, I don't use it as an excuse when I get into an argument with my friends.
Going on to the next subject, I would also like to mention there are different types of ADHD. But with research and education, I do not believe there is a form like this.
Next, yet again, another trigger warning. This subject is hard to talk about and may disturb some viewers.
As mentioned in part 1, Mackenzie sent Jenna photos of her in a towel showing a lot of skin, and a photo of her in her bra, when Jenna was 13, and said no several times, but this is not the first or last time Mackenzie has done something like this. So I would like to welcome my new friend Kaelin, aka Hunter number 2.
So, first of all, how did you meet Purple?
I'm pretty sure a few months ago I was looking through Animal Jam streams because I was bored, and I found her stream, so I subscribed to her, and then I ended up having to be busy that day, so I just closed out of it and forgot that I subscribed to her. Saw she was streaming another day, and I'm like, hey, why don't I join her server? So I literally joined for like 0.2 seconds and joined her server, and then basically we started talking through there.
Oh, you met her through your server. So, you've mentioned you guys would talk and stuff. So, what were the things that like Purple like did to you? I would say like things that weren't right, or like just things like that. What did she do to you?
Well, she wouldn't actually come to me, but she would tend to be like very suicidal, and if I tried to help her, she would basically not listen at all. She basically asked me into a polyamorous relationship, of which I didn't really know better. I didn't know I wasn't poly at the time, so being in that relationship really stressed me out. And, eventually I left that, and which was like 5 hours after, honestly. And then, basically, like 5 days after the poly thing happened, she basically came to my DMs and was like, I'm a barcode, and I basically knew she meant self-harm, but I didn't think she would actually send photos of her self-harm.
Oh God, she sent
And I was already,
photos?
yeah,
The fuck?
yes. And I was already in a very bad mood. I was not in a stable I was not stable mentally at that time. So I basically looked at them because she said that she ran everything through IBIS, so I thought it would be pretty blurred to the point where I wouldn't actually be able to tell where the cuts were. But I very much could because it wasn't blurred enough.
I'm so sorry.
And she didn't ask if I was like okay or anything before she sent that.
So, if we have any screenshots, they'll be popping up on the screen with appropriate blurring.
Yeah.
Were there any like red flags at all? Like, obviously, the stuff she did was like obviously like
Yeah.
were there any red flags like in the way she would talk or the way she would behave, like not when she was doing those things specifically, but like prior, like were there any red flags?
Well, for starters, within her server, definitely, because that's like a public space. You can really pick up on bad stuff that people do in a public space.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they didn't really care when they would talk about like the more sexual side of things. So they would talk about their more sexual stuff with her and Alyssa.
Mm-hmm. And
so
sorry if I interrupt you, but this server, okay, so this server is a public server, and Discord TOS is 13 up. There are people in that server that are under 13 or 13, 14 who are hearing about this stuff for the first time or thinking that it's okay to talk about this stuff openly. They don't know any better. And so they're being introduced to this kind of content without really like a warning. It's not anything that someone should be exposed to like that.
yeah, definitely. But so basically they would talk about that stuff, and I mean, I kind of just went along with it because honestly, me and my friends joke around like about sexual stuff all the time, but you know, they kind of take it a step over because they actually, you know, would talk about when they did stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
And then, you know, Alyssa bringing in, you know, Purple's suicide attempts and everything, like
Mhm.
it would really stress me out to a point where I would start having thoughts that I should not be having
Yeah,
because
that's so
yeah,
inhumane, I guess is the word.
yeah, so that would really honestly stress me out because at the time Purple was like a really close friend, so I'm just like I worry about her and everything, especially with that type of stuff.
Yeah, you're empathetic, like most people are. Moving on. What did okay, so you mentioned that you didn't like me or like you weren't fond of me because I posted a video or whatever at the time. I thought that Astro Squad was hacking Animal Jam, whatever.
Hmm.
But you mentioned that Purple would talk about me or try and convince you of stuff. What was that? What did she say about me or try and convince you of?
I mean, it honestly originally started in her server, and honestly, I don't remember which chat it was, so if I could go back and remember which chat it was in, I would go back and look at what that stuff was, but it was basically like you would ask her for sexual content photos, and
The fuck? If we find us, we'll put that on screen if okay.
yeah. And like would honestly talk very badly about you, and I mean, she was my friend, so you know, I believe my friends with whatever they say, which I now know definitely not to do,
Yeah.
and everything. But it's like, you know, I wanted to believe her and everything. I knew you were like not exactly okay in my book, but honestly, I didn't actually believe that you would do something like that. It was when she would mention that you tried doxing her or were going to get people to dox her just because you didn't believe she was talking to the actual Tommy in it, which really, you know, got me on a bad side with you.
Yeah,
Because I did not like that at
and
all, especially not over something so petty.
I'm gonna state this here. I stated on my Instagram story. I cannot dox. I have not doxed. I do not reach out to people to dox, and I do
Yeah.
not want Purple being doxed. Even though Purple has several times reached out to several people to get me doxed, I do not want her being doxed. That is not anything I'm doing. That's not anything that I know my friends are doing. That's not something I support. So, yeah. Not only has she forced Kaelin into a poly relationship, but she has sent raunchy photos to minors and has an NSW art chat filled with minors, until it got deleted by a mod without her knowledge a few days ago. This behavior is illegal and not okay by any means.
We were not the only ones who really noticed this behavior. A friend of ours, we'll call Max, wrote in to not only share his experience with Purple's behavior, but to show support for Jonah.
2 weeks ago, she started having chill streams on Animal Jam with some weird, mentally awkward music without a microphone on for most of the time. She started doing spike giveaways and whatnot. After a while, another famous jammer that we will not name joined and visited her stream. Suddenly, randomly, she turned into an eagle or some other flying animal and started flying around with constant movement for about 5 minutes for an unsolved reason. Well, apparently, that unsolved reason was when she had the biggest severe mental breakdown I had ever seen. I was in embarrassment to realize something like this happened in front of a famous jammer with many subscribers. Then she ended up ranting about her life and how she wants to, trigger warning, die or kill herself, due to not sleeping for half of the night until 2 a.m. or somewhere at midnight. I offered her a chance, more like a beneficial choice, to enter her stream for the night, but she wanted to continue to hang out with others, so she ends up being needy with a few of her friends, therefore becoming spoiled with rares. Finally, she offered me a server invite and I joined, before this uncertainty about finally realizing yesterday the crimes about what she committed. Side note, she knew I was old enough to see sexual content, so that was interesting. Overall, Jenna has made an excellent choice because I was similarly somewhat part of this that my partner doing high school was needy. I was requested to ignore because there's a therapist or some darn right hotline to call if suicidal thoughts are the effects of demonstrating an enormous mental health cause instead of committing crimes.
I don't think we could have said it any better ourselves.
I would like to thank Max before moving on for sharing and supporting me endlessly through every situation like this, and all of my fans in general. I didn't know how everyone would react when I shared my story, but the support has been endless, and I have made some new friends because of it, like Kaelin. Because of this support, I am ready to share with you all the things I did not want to mention in the last video because of my uncertainties. So, trigger warning before moving on to our last and final points. Mental abuse. What is it? Well, according to Google, psychological abuse involves the regular and deliberate use of range words and non-physical actions used with the purpose to manipulate, hurt, weaken, or frighten a person mentally and emotionally, and or distort, confuse, or influence a person's thoughts and actions within their everyday lives, changing their sense of self and harming their well-being.
Now here's some things Purple put me and Jenna through.
When I was dating Purple, she would like to make jokes when we were on call. Not like normal teasing jokes, like jokes she was mad at me or she hated me. Like one time we were playing Minecraft with Cookie, and she on call got really snappy at me all of a sudden. And I didn't know if she was being real or not because she did this so much. So I shut down and had a mental breakdown, and she just laughed. And I left call with Cookie and Mackenzie, and Cookie called me privately like a good friend to talk to me and told me she didn't think Purple's behavior was appropriate. And then she told me after I left the call, Purple said that she was joking. So I joined back and I was rightfully mad. And Purple, as always, played the victim, saying, whenever I make a joke, it always hurts someone's feelings. I just won't joke around anymore. I thought I was being mean. I thought I was the one who wasn't reacting the way I should have. My friends told me it was manipulation, but I didn't listen because when you trust somebody so much and they keep telling you something over and over again, you start to listen. You start to cave in. At that point, I went along with everything. I let her use me. I let her be right. I let her get away with the sly jokes about me. I let her promote her channel on my Discord server 24/7. I didn't put my foot down until my friends got hurt because of her actions. By then, it was too late, and the damage to my mental health had already been done by the time we broke up. But on a positive note, me and Hunter started dating on the 26th of 2020, about a month after me and Purple broke up. I told myself I wasn't going to date ever again, but in short, I found somebody who understood me, who listened, and who treated me the way I always wanted Mackenzie to treat me, with respect and compassion. I say it a lot, but Hunter is the most amazing person I've ever met. He has brought a lot of joy into my life, and he's been there for me on my bad days and my good days, and he is just amazing. He treats me a million times better than Purple ever did, and I feel really lucky to have him in my life. As Cookie said, maybe God feels bad about putting Purple in your path and making you go through all of that. And he was like, here, have him. He'll actually love you this time. I'm lucky to have gotten out of that mentally abusive relationship, but I realized not everyone knew. People were shouting Purple out. People were falling for her manipulation. People were listening to her lies about me. That's why I made these videos, to speak out and prevent others from falling into the same trap I fell into, because I was lucky enough to have good friends like Cookie and Pooter to catch me before I fell completely. And I'm even luckier to have someone who actually loves and respects me. Not everyone gets as lucky as I am, so I'm warning everyone now, Purple is not who you think she is.
Purple behaved similar to me, as she did to Jenna while we dated. Even though Jenna tried to warn me about her behavior, she would make me isolate. It was either I talked to her or I talked to no one at all. She would get mad at me even if I mentioned someone she didn't know or like. She separated me from my friends like Jenna, and would get pissed if I even talked about her. Jenna tried to warn me a lot, but I thought I could change her. But in the end, it ended up breaking me down. As Jenna mentioned in her last video, Purple would threaten suicide when they got into a fight. She did this to me as well, and one time, when she attempted and ran away, she blamed me. Caused me a mental health spiral as a result. I'm lucky as well to have gotten out of that situation, and lucky to have the support of my friends I have now. But I as well do not want others to go through this situation, so I am speaking out. Now on to the final topic. Jenna is very uncomfortable talking about the subject herself as she is a minor, and still feels like she is somehow, although we've all told her she is not, to blame. So I'll be talking about this situation.
Yeah, thanks.
So when Purple and Jenna were still dating, the day before, Purple sent an unsolicited photo to Jenna after she told her over and over no. Purple and Jenna were on call, as shown in this screenshot. Jenna had her face cam on, Purple did not. Jenna all of a sudden heard weird noises on call. Came to find out, Purple was masturbating on call without Jenna's knowledge. Jenna immediately left after Purple told her what she was doing, because Jenna pestered her for about 20 minutes. The next day, Purple sent her this. This behavior is not only illegal, but can leave mental trauma, as I believe it has to Jenna.
Overall, Purple has done a lot of harm to a lot of people. We still cannot fit everything into a point in this video, so we will be putting screenshots at the end of this video with the proper blurring for people to take a look at to see this behavior. I want to thank everyone who has supported me in making this video or has contributed in some way or another, if that's going undercover, screenshots, or just messaging me. So thank you to Yinny, Pooter, Creative, Cookie, Noelle, Hunter, Kaelin, aka Hunter number 2, Honey, Lilac Boo, Sarah, Robert, Wolfie, Roses, Kek, Curity, Ubaloo, Radioactives, Rhonda, Strawberry, Pencil, Sands, and Porcel, and anyone else who has helped and supported us through the situation. People will be linked down below, so go check the description out for all of that greatness. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. And before I go, I would like to say we have spent so much time on this video, and I would really appreciate it if you could check out Yinny, aka Rin, and Creative. They're both linked in the description. I know they would both greatly appreciate it, especially Rin. She helped me so much with this video. We have spent days and hours on end working on this video. So, all the love to her. And I will see you guys next time, and stay tuned for bloopers because this video, we failed a lot. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys next. Bye!